A man who played collegiately over at East Lansing. Here's Ken Walker.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
You talk about this Lions defense.
Now, they've played well against the pass, currently ranked 7th in the NFL.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
Faced with their first 3rd down conversion opportunity and able to punch it through and pick it up on the ground.
And to me, doing it on the ground sends a different type of a message than throwing the football. And, you know, let's face it, we've done a lot of games together. How often have we seen 3rd down turn into an automatic passing down no matter what the yardage?
Yeah, and last thing you want, that opening drive to go 3 and out. You got everything scripted, lined up. Let's get some points on the board, and they're able to avoid that 3 and out.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw and coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
Down the sideline he goes.
And he will finally be wrestled down at the Lions' 12-yard line.
63 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start.
Yardage-wise, he's in the top handful of backs in the league so far this season. A great run there.
He's going to love that standing when it comes to contract time. But even more so, his team loves it because he gives them an identity and sets a tone.
And a great job there to read that one defensively. They strung him out, would not allow him to cut upfield.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
On 2nd down, it's Walker.
And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
8th play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. Out of the gun, Smith. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Myers' kick is good. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead.
Well, they moved the ball well there on the opening series. Running game was in sync. They were knocking on the doorstep, but ultimately, Charles, they'll have to settle for the field goal.
Well, they certainly were moving it well, and give this defense a ton of credit. Finally dug their heels in and forced the field goal. That's one of his game partner. Will this offense look back at this drive and think to themselves, if we'd gotten 6, we'd be in a better spot.
Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
At their own 19-yard line.
Here's the 12th overall pick in April's draft, Jahmyr Gibbs. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's 2nd down. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
2nd down, and they go back to Gibbs.
And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
3rd and 4.
Here's Goff. And that will be incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf, his 2nd touchdown on the season.
And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Geno's going to throw. And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2. They don't get it. Tough there. Good pass. Hit the hands. He just couldn't bring it in.
And every receiver's coach everywhere seeing that play. Focus, focus, focus. Watch it all the way in and tuck it away.
And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit.
And that's caught inside the 30.
And he will step out of bounds here inside the 30.
A big play there for Detroit. 51 yards. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. And this is going to be intercepted.
Tariq Woolen picks it. And the Seahawks are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line.
Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
70 yards on the ground for him so far.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
After one, it's 9-0. Two yards still to go. 3rd down now. They'll try for the first with Walker.
And now off to the races down the right side. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle.
Kenneth Walker with his 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks add 6 to their lead.
We see this a lot on 3rd and short yardage, especially down here in the red zone. They're going to sell out to stop the run, try and hold them to a field goal. But once the running back gets past the first wave, the resistance can evaporate after that. And And he not only picks up the first, but he takes it all the way into the end zone.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
Grant, he will not return it, and his guys will begin at the 25.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. Picked off by Devin Witherspoon. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection. And now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks.
Man coverage on the left side, so I really like the design of this play because they opened up the field and brought their tight end the other way on a crossing route. That's a lot of ground to cover if you're a defender. I've been there before, unable to stay with his man there.
Walker now on 1st and 10.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game. And I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
Second and 6.
Now Gino. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. They dial up the corner blitz that time, and it delivers to the tune of a 9-yard loss.
That's a step in the right direction defensively here because you're facing this sizable deficit. They're going to need more plays like that. A good sack, though. Good effort there.
And what you're hoping is, as you said, a step in the right direction.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. It's Brian Branch with it. And the Lions are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line.
This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here, 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning it into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
They'll go again with Gibbs.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Now the former Bear, this is David Montgomery.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Great run by Gibbs, who surprised me by being picked so early in the draft. But the Lions knew when they had the chance to add a playmaker like him, they absolutely couldn't pass him up.
Going back to Gibbs on first down. Down at the 25.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. They'll try the air now with Goff. Flushed out right. Throw left side is complete on the diving effort. His second catch, and this one not nearly as electrifying as his first. And it'll bring up third down now. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Goff. And this one is incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively, because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
The kick by Lutz is good. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Eskridge going to keep this one in the end zone, and they'll start at the 25-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit, because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit, in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Geno now to throw.
And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Up the middle they run. It's Walker.
158 yards rushing for him, as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
I don't care what the emphasis is in the NFL at any given time. Every defense is still going to say their #1 goal every game is stop the run. And right now, they're not doing that, and that really chips away at your confidence.
To throw is Smith. To the right side and complete to Metcalf.
Still going inside the 20.
And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle.
DK Metcalf.
His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year.
And the Seahawks will extend. Their lead in the final minute of the half.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless They can get something on the board here before intermission.
Off play action. Here's Goff.
That pass caught. It's Williams.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. They'll fake the give. Now Goff. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted.
Picked by Julian Love. And the Seahawks will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. Well, there are several factors at play for why they face this deficit right now, Charles, but that's now 3 interceptions that he has thrown and just giving the football away pretty careless here in the opening half.
Yeah, I know that all of our parents taught us to share as youngsters, but in this game, you don't want to share with the other team. Keep it for yourself. Keep it for your team. Got to cut down on all of those throws, those errant passes, if they hope to get back into this game.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away.
This is Jakeem Grant.
And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon, getting set for quarter number 3 here.
It'll be Lions football to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. And here's Jakeem Grant from his end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
And they work this well upfield across the 45.
It's a first down, his 4th catch of the game after having 3 in the first half.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Boye Mafe.
And they will finally get to him, but a great return has set him up 1st and goal at the 5. Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here.
Here's Walker. And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down.
It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
And now defensively, you have to look at this like the game's on the line. It's just the 3rd quarter, but another touchdown given up here could really spell an end to their...
And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Ken Walker.
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Seahawks take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points.
Here's Smith looking to throw. And they don't get it. They tried for the 2-point conversion there, but unsuccessful.
I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
3rd down and 13.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it.
And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. Well, they definitely figured out something defensively at halftime, Charles. That's now 2 drives and 2 interceptions here in this 3rd quarter.
And I think the easy thing for us to say is, boy, they made an adjustment, didn't they? Or they showed him something different. I'm not so sure it's that as much as maybe he's just been impatient and forced the ball a little bit. In any event, as you noted, back-to-back interceptions thrown.
Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Now it's the rookie from UCLA, Zach Charbonnet.
Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown.
DK Metcalf.
35 yards.
And the Seahawks have taken a 5-touchdown lead.
They'll try and run it up the middle. And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away.
And this will be a touchback as Grant opts not to return it.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. Gibbs will try and pick it up.
And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
44 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
And that's why you spend a 1st-round draft pick on a running back. Not for just the fancy runs, but these dirty, gritty 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. That's why you draft him.
Goff on 1st down. He's airing it out for Williams. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them. This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
He's airing it out for Williams. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Here we go on fourth. Goff.
And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
A surprising move to go for it, predictably, at least somewhat predictably. It doesn't pay off. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. On first down, Smith.
Pass is tipped, but he's still able to bring it in.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. 4 receivers to keep tabs on here. 3 of them to the right side on 2nd and 5.